in the polyamory.
What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, why doesn't my father like me? Is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you hit it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, the men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband and stuff like that.
Alrighty, what's happening with you? Another day, another hour, man. Uh, welcome to the Speak On It podcast, 2K24. This is actually the summer edition. I am your host, DJ Black. And on here, we talk about, a lot of trending topics and give a different side of the coin. We weigh in on them. It's no bash or anything. We just voice our opinion from seeing so many negatives on a lot of trending topics. And we actually sit and try to put some type of logic to it to make the brothers and sisters see things different, to make our people see things a little different and possibly think a little different. Hell, I've grown a lot since I've been doing this podcast. So just check it out. It's therapeutic. A lot of people, I get a lot of inboxes of people telling me how they enjoyed it and how they watch it and walk away with different thoughts. And I say it all the time on here. It also helped me out because I was a messed up individual. You understand me? And they attack my issues. You know what I'm saying? And my thoughts. And I sit and listen, and I walk away. I must say, a better man. But on that note, I'm gonna open up with a couple of things tonight. But first off, I'd like to give my condolences to the Lucas family. They lost the strength of their family this week, the other day, and I want to give a quick little moment of silence tribute to Senor Lucas. I call him Senor. He's definitely a legend in Bastrop, Louisiana. He actually made it possible for normal, regular kids to go places and experience getting out of Bastrop. He was the Spanish teacher, and I think the only Spanish teacher in Morehouse Parish. And we had Mu Sigma, we had the Beta Clubs, we had all of those that went to Paris and all that. But Senor would take regular, everyday A, B, C, D students to trips, on trips, Spanish club trip. And he's in the memory of so many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, because they all took him for Spanish, and those trips were amazing. He let you get out there. You sold raffle tickets. You sold barbecue plates, which his barbecue was off the chain. And then I found out later that he got his recipe from my father. So this is a kind of close connection to me. So I had to say something. I usually don't pause and do a whole segment. I'll just say, condolences, rest in peace. And then another one, shout out to the Delafus family and the Jones. All of this, Delafus and Jones last week, Senor this week. Bastrop has been hit with a lot of heavy hitters. So Bastrop, Louisiana, been hit with a lot of heavy hitters in the city, and Senor is no different. And it's coming up on the anniversary also of Miss Benton's passing as well. I think it was sometime this week also. So it's been a week. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. But special shout goes out to the Lucas family, Jackson. It's been deep. It's been deep. So children, keep your heads up and take care of mom. Y'all all she got now. Special shout out to Deidre, because I know she got a lot. Jen and Jonathan, Jeff, I know them all close. So shout out to the families, and y'all are definitely in my prayers. But Senor, he made it possible. We take the kids to Hot Springs, Magic Springs, and he was well respected. I mean, when I go around him, it was nothing but respect. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? And he would grab you. He was strong, and he just like he's a father figure. Whenever he stepped in the room, the baddest kid tucked their shirt in their pants. And then when you get one that did roll around there trying to be ruly and things in his classroom, he would grab you, and he had that strong grip. Yeah, I went in there acting up, you know what I'm saying, one day, and on the way out, he grabbed me and he gave me a long little speech because I wanted to be class clown, and he looked at me in class, and I think I was having a bad sassy day, and he looked at me, and on the way out the class, he grabbed me. He stood by the door. He always stood by the door right before he let everybody out of his class. And I'm sure I ain't the only one that got snatched, that got jacked on, but he gripped me on my arm, and he said, "Hey, you're not going to be acting like this in my class." He said, "You understand me?" I said, "Yes, sir." And I had no problem. He had no problem with me no more after that class. But on that Spanish trip, I went out there and I was trying to clown. I think the last one I went on, and he made me sleep outside his door. Because I was, mannish, doing what boys do. But yeah, this one hit kind of deep, But no more suffering, no more pain. So shout out to the Jones family, shout out to the Delafus family, and my shout out, moments of silence and dedication to Senor Lucas. You will definitely be missed. Get your rest, my brother. You impacted many lives. All right. But yeah, had to get that off my chest. I wouldn't have felt right doing this show tonight without that. You know what I'm saying? What up, Thack? You a man. You a man of value. So Charles Thaxton. So you might want to get ready to come on later on. I'm gonna post the link on Facebook in a minute so you can join live. We're talking about you'll probably like this topic, you know what I'm saying? So, and other news besides, and shout out to the families that were affected from that tire that blew up at Delta Airlines in Atlanta. Crew was working changing a tire on one of the jet planes, and the tire exploded, killing 2 of them and injuring 1 of them. It's just crazy out here. So my thing is, take the chip down. Let your family know you love them. All the animosity and the hatred you have towards family members for no reason at all, you guys need to squash that and move forward. It's not really worth it. Evaluate what's worth it and what's not. Choose your battle, but move on, because you never know when it's going to be your last time to tell that person anything. So even if you don't say the "I love you," at least let them know in some type of way that you appreciate them. Then the last time, that the next time they're in your presence, because the next time may just be the last time. So, and another thing I wanted to address before I dive into the topic. Let's see here. And that's Austin. What's that in Austin? What you know good?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
See what I'm saying? See, I forgot. Let me add Austin, because he went on all them trips too. I used to get him to come on those trips with me, man, and we used to have a time.
Yeah, I enjoyed my Spanish class with Senor Lucas.
Senor, yeah, man. It was a time, gave the regular inner youth kids something to do, man. And he will be forever remembered and missed. I mean, it's deep, but so yeah, it was a situation. It was a time. That's all I like to say on that. And then we had a similar topic like this when I first started this podcast on how the teaching is getting hard. Teachers need raises. The teachers need protection. It's getting rough because it's already a shortage of teachers, and the kids are getting worse and worse. But this lady, I think she was in Texas, and she got attacked by a student. So this is crazy. But peep this out, then we'll get into the topic.
On Thursday, August 15th, during lunch, I heard our behavioral teacher call on the radio to administrators for assistance. When I arrived, the teacher and students were outside the classroom. One student was holding his head, having been assaulted by the student remaining in the classroom. I entered where the student was still irate and found the room ransacked with overturned furniture. I knew I had to be as calm as possible, and I spoke lowly and slowly so as not to enrage him any further. He picked up a chair and acted as if he would throw it. He finally did throw it at me, but I caught it midair. He picked up another chair to throw at me when another assistant principal entered the room. I used the first chair to block the second. He picked up a third and threw it at the other assistant principal, and I used that initial chair to block the one that he threw at her. After blocking the chair thrown at the other assistant principal, he threw a wooden hanger at me, but I couldn't stop it fast enough. The hanger hit me in my right eye and knocked it out of the socket. I grabbed my face while blood was pouring out of my head and stumbled out of the classroom door. The nurse and 911 were called. I asked for my cell phone to call my husband to come get me, not realizing the extent of the damage. When paramedics arrived, they determined I would need to be airlifted to Parkland Medical Center in Dallas. I underwent surgery as soon as possible, and doctors were able to reinsert my eye. However, they determined I had been blinded and currently believe that my damage is permanent.
Students, boy.
So, man, look.
And then you had the teachers where there was one where this teacher was having sex in the classroom with 4 dudes.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
you need some better students and better teachers. So, a lot of teachers are coming in right out of school.
Oh, okay.
And
right.
Yeah,
We
and
didn't have no teachers doing that. You know what I'm saying? What?
yeah, but but
Yeah.
we get these teachers coming in right out of school and doing it just for their first job and getting some decent money starting out. So but then you have the other teachers that are in it because they really believe in teaching the youth. But we have so many youth out there that just don't want to learn, and they're just there to be a disruption, and that's the reason for a lot of the charter schools and private schools, and then a lot of people are choosing to homeschool, because of situations like this. Public school is a terror zone.
Yeah, and that's why when I seen it was going there, and when you have little ones, you don't want to be often to say yes, you do, but you really don't want to be the one that say I can't just be in the hood. But it depends on your lifestyle and what you have going on. It's okay to get out of the hood. Never forget per se where you came from, as they say, but your circumstances will drive you out of the hood. And so if paying extra for my child to go to a private school where I know he's protected, that's just what I'm gonna do. Uh,
Well, I mean, there are some schools, like some charter schools or magnet schools, where you don't have to pay, that it's funded. So you just
huh.
have to put in applications and things of that nature,
Yeah, you get on a
and
waiting list.
yeah, and go through some criterias. But I'd rather do that than, I mean, if I can't afford it on my own, I'd rather do that to have a better education or a better opportunity for my child versus taking the risk that they do at public schools.
Oh yeah, and can't nobody get mad at you for that. I mean, we gotta do what you gotta do to survive, but with that type of behavior and we've seen the fights. That ain't nothing new. We've seen the girl and the teacher, the girl grabbing the teacher and trying to fight over the cell phone. We've seen that. But when it comes to throwing chairs and knocking eyes out, that's when you really say, okay, hold up, And then my brother is out there in Texas in the school system, and he had to break up a fight right before school ended, and somebody caught it on video, and it started going viral and everything, and he's trying to break up fighting some probably 6'1" girl trying to fight a 5'5" girl, and the 6'1" girl is older, shouldn't really be in high school, like maybe 20, and the one she was fighting was like 16, and it was crazy, and he had to get in the middle because the female teachers couldn't handle the 6'1", and he had to step in there, and he's stout, and he was saying even with him being as big and stout as he was, it was difficult stopping that girl, So it's like security, you get security, but guess what? Security got to get there. So, man, I don't know. It's crazy. I know it's not a field I would want to, because growing up, I was like, okay, I could being that I was a mentor, I figured I can go into the school system and do some things. I could be a little mentor, go up in there, be a little counselor, whatever, teach 3rd, 4th grade, you know what I'm saying? And, educate them and bring them boys into adolescence. But it's not such of a thrill of mine anymore, So, yeah, the school system is not, definitely not what it used to be. And it's getting worse as a generation, because I talk to a lot of teachers when I see them, when I'm going to go pick up my son or something, and I hear the teachers talking, and I may hold a brief conversation, and it's tough out there, especially when everything walking around. I'm like, what happened? And then they'll tell me what's going on, and I'm like, But yeah, I have them in a good school, but it's just that when we hear this type of news, it just trickle down. It's not, it's not fun. It's not nothing you want to hear.
Yeah, my wife and I, we were talking the other day. I mean, our baby's just one, but we were trying to figure out what direction we wanted to go. We don't know what school is going to be like when she starts, but um, we were considering homeschool and the different options that are available to us. So, um, you know, just because of the way the system is these days, and then accepting uh, mediocrity as successful, you know.
Right. Let's see. Did I put I need to put the link to join up. So Austin, I'm gonna put the banner what we're talking about up, and I'm gonna add these links because I'm getting a lot of text messages saying they don't have the link. So hold on a moment. Let's see. So they'll see the topic. All right, and hold on a moment. Hold it down, Austin. Let me add this because I think Chanel. Let me add this. Hold up.
As we take this brief intermission, we would like to thank you for joining us. And if you are able to join into the conversation, there will be a link that allows you to join and express yourself on camera or off camera, however you prefer. We will resume regular broadcasting in a few moments. I wish I had some elevator music to play, but unfortunately I don't. So it's just me on here talking, being silly until Black comes back. I'll have to post in a link. I don't want to talk about too much or go into the topic without the rest of the crew being here. So we'll just kind of hang out until he finishes his process, which probably shouldn't take too long.
All right, with that, think about no, you did a very good job with the brief intermission. Yeah, I thought you was gonna sing and dance for them.
Well, I'll start to
Yeah.
sing, but decided not to.
Oh, okay. But yeah, George internet is down. They're having internet issues.
Yeah,
And
AT&T.
he wanted to come on and say some stuff, but
Yeah, AT&T has been having a problem lately.
okay.
So
But we're gonna go ahead and dive into this thing because Wednesday nights, we got other things that we do this and then we dip off and do the family thing. All righty. And the topic of tonight is, are men wrong for asking modern day women, what do you bring to the table? That is
well,
the question. And let me
well,
begin and I can still hear you. I think I know how to do this and still be on.
yeah. I mean, I don't even just put it to just modern day women. I mean, they have traditional women that men ask that question of too. And we had a guy on last week, or I think it was last week, that was saying that the relationship is not a partnership. But when you're asking what someone brings to the table, you're asking them because you're looking to enter into a partnership. So you want to find out not necessarily what monetary value they bring, but those intangibles that they bring to the relationship, whether it's trust, fidelity, um, whether they're goals, dreams, and aspirations. So um, those are the type of things that, I mean, if I was posing that question, that I would be looking to identify in what they bring to the table. Um, because you don't want to get in the company of, or keep the company of, in a relationship with a person that's not bringing those values that you hold dear to yourself, um, and entrusting them with your heart, your emotions, and your mental. So you have to identify what a person is bringing to the table. And again, people take that out of context as talking about something material, or what they can do as far as the job goes or something of that nature. But to me, um, those things aren't the key to the relationship. So again, when you're trying to establish yourself in that partnership, because I mean, if you're someone that's looking for a person that you're going to marry and spend the rest of your life with and spend all of your time with and those type of things, then you're gonna want someone that have those values that you hold to be important to you. So, you know, why would you want to go into a situation where a person doesn't bring those type of things to the table? Um, if you are uh, um, I would say a man of value, but I'm gonna just use a man of standards. Then those things are important. So um, you're going to bring those things and apply those things to your partnership, relationship, your marriage. So those are, that's just my thought.
Yeah, and yeah, because that's my thing. Being a man of value and standards, and then they say, what does that mean? And make sure it's pulled up the right stuff. I don't think it did. Okay, I think it did. Okay. Um, when we say value, that's one that respects a woman, uh, know how to protect, nurture, um, lead, um, you know, things that we saw. A lot of us saw the granddads and fathers do. He knows that his purpose by at the end of the day is to guide, lead, and protect. And respect comes with that on both sides. So if you're of a man of integrity and you have respect along with the ability to lead, provide, you don't want that disrespectful modern day, because that's where the modern day come in at, because with women having they have more opportunities now than ever before. And many of them saying they're not gonna do what they seen mama do. They're not gonna do what they saw grandma do or great grandma do or their aunts do. And they step out there more in their masculine because they're taught to be independent. Don't depend on nobody, especially no man. They're taught these things. They're not groomed or raised to be wives. A lot of them. They're groomed and raised to take care of yourself and your children, your household. And so when you meet a man of value standards, that has his pretty much has his life together, I can see him asking, if I date you, what do you contribute? If I date you, street layman, what do you bring to the table? And the fact that that man has his life pretty much together, meaning He has his own house. He has his own car. He has a good job. He can cook. He washes his own clothes. He basically don't need a woman to do the things that maybe Big Mama and them did. He don't need nobody to wash his clothes. He don't need nobody to cook for him. He does all of that himself. So then you question, what do you need a woman for besides sexual endeavors? And I was caught saying that years ago. It may have been maybe 15 years ago or so, but I was walking into Walmart with the fellas, and and I'm the leader of the pack. So I said, I was walking in, and I remember saying, man, I don't need a woman for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just bragging on my independence. And I was like, if I don't even have to remove a rib, just to do whatever. And I was just talking, and those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. And the lady looked back at me, this older lady. She must have been probably in her late 40s, 50s. And she looked at me, and the look that she gave me, I'll never forget. But the main thing she heard me say was, I don't need a woman for nothing. I know how to cook. I know how to clean. Shit, I don't even have to remove no rib. I can satisfy myself if I needed to, what I need a woman for. And that look that she gave, and as I walked in there with the fellas and kept walking and walking, I kind of started thinking about what I said and why I got that look. But a man who could take care of himself, provide for himself, they may look at, like, if I talk to you, I am the prize. And men are learning their worth now. And the fact that a lot of men have started learning their worth. You still have some that don't know their worth, still kind of low self-esteem betas out there. But there are more men realizing their worth now than ever before. And thanks to Kevin Samuels, the ones that everybody hates. But I've seen guys who started watching his podcast start standing up for themselves. So just like when it comes to religion, when it comes to Farrakhan, I like listening to Farrakhan. I've been listening to Farrakhan since I was about 16 years old. And I take the good out of it and what I can apply to myself to make me a better person, to make me more understanding. So even with Kevin Samuels, he had some good valid points. I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't have good valid points. I liked his points. But do I believe everything he say, or do I believe in everything Farrakhan says? No. But they do have interesting and educational speeches and topics that you can apply to your life and change. And I think Kevin Samuels was that tool to a lot of men trying to find their identity, are caught up in that web of being disrespected by women. So they looked at it as bashing, but it just depends on how you looked at it. Now, some of his earlier content that I saw, it would, he did do a little bashing, a little harsh, and what he feels is a high value man. He always put that with money. But I think he woke up a lot of guys. And so now a lot of men are coming into their worth, whether they're engineers, whether they're cybersecurities, whether they're getting those checks now. Just like the women feel now that they are engineers and taking over jobs that were once considered men jobs. And she has a right to be proud. She has a right to have her accolades, wear accolades on her shoulders. She has a right to. And with everybody being independent now, and the woman feeling lesser and being able to have more these days, Now she's feeling like what I need a man for. So you got both tug of warring and what I need a man for. So now the guy who has this thing together actually feels like I'm the prize, because a lot of, although we have our women that entrepreneurs that being educated that has these good jobs, you also have the women that downgrading themselves or are not on that same level, that's doing whatever, not trying to have nothing. Sex is the key. I'm just going to use him for his money. You do have that as well. So the guys who have the money that don't want to be used or have been used, they're waking up now. And so now the guy's sitting back like, hey, what do you bring to the table? I got the house, I got the car, I got the good job. And before he make that investment, because whether you want to look at it like that or not, if you are a man of value, your job is to provide, lead, and protect. So before you step into that and take on that responsibility, because anything can happen, then to ask that question, at first, when I first heard men asking that, being that I came from I'm more of a traditionalist. I like tradition, where the man, kind of take care of everything. So when I first heard this question circling the internet, and a lot of them did speak on income, surviving today. It takes a 2-person income to live in today's society. So when I first started seeing that, I was like, nah, because I'm going to make sure, no matter what mine out there making, I'm going to make sure that, or try to make sure, and I've been blessed enough to maintain, for me to make sure everything could be taken care of, whether she contributes a dime or not. I don't like entering into any kind of partnership knowing that it can fall anytime and crumble anytime if one of them pull out. Because my main motto has always been one monkey ain't never stopped the DJ Black show. So with that being said, when they are speaking monetary, which a lot of them are now, especially the millennials, a lot of them are coming in, when they say what you bring to the table, they're adding up. Okay, she made 60,000, I made 95, and we put that together, we are 100 and a couple. So a lot of them do look at it like that. But when you have when you more together, you have you're satisfied with the job, you're satisfied with the income, you're satisfied with the housing situation, you're satisfied with your transportation situation. You see things different, because now you're looking like, when I bring this person in to my life, what do they contribute? You know what I'm saying? How can I grow from this relationship? And that's from a traditional man that knows his job is to provide, protect, so he's sitting there like, what do I bring to the table? And with all these videos going viral on how disrespectful and unappreciative they're painting our Black women to be, and I say painting, but we're seeing it. There's no skit. I see it when I'm at the grocery store. I hear it when I'm at someone's house and we're ready to go somewhere, and she in there raising hell because his kid's over to the house and she don't want him to leave. And the conversations that they have and the disrespect that I hear, I see this. And it's just, and when you're more traditional, you're not going to take that. But a lot of the younger generations, the millennials and Gen Zs that's coming up, they're accepting the disrespect from a woman. And as I stated on here before, I came from a background with nothing but respectful men. The women respected their men, and that's all I seen growing up. So to me, there's no other way. Whether I'm dating modern, whether I'm dating throwback, I cannot deal with disrespect. And so I don't choose disrespect. And so I just look at now and to be honest with you, I thank the wife daily because we up here in like the third season of Shy, and I'm looking at how they then inserted these they have these transgender women and I have to sit there like I really, I can kind of tell the first one was, but then the next one that he's talking to, I thought, and then as I kept watching, then she'll go and Google the stuff. See, I told you these are real transgender women. And I just be like, man, I'm just so thankful that I don't have to get out there and go through this dating thing again because it's tough with the new attitudes, with what's out there now, with what the world is accepting and what everybody's doing. It it's not fun. You know what I'm saying? It's not fun like it was, coming up. So yeah, my take on the dating thing, men asking should you bring something to the table, you better ask should they what they're bringing to the table because the key thing in my life that I need them to bring is peace. Is peace. You know.
Well, that was a lot said. You talked Chanel right on off.
Oh yeah, she'll be back. I'm trying to get my part out before I introduce her. But yeah, hopefully she'll pop back. But yeah, this topic, what do you bring to the table? Then you get guys that came from little or nothing and that have a little something and they walk in with a chip on their shoulder. You get what I'm saying? I've been in the military, and now I'm
No,
top engineer.
they go to the other side.
Mm,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
think
yeah.
they still do that? You think? I don't see much of that.
What?
Not a lot of it. I know one or two people that I know that went to school. And if you go look on their pages, yeah. And one of them was on here the other week saying something, and he posted something on my page the other day. I call him lambskins. You know what I'm talking about. He went that route. I think one of our partners that we knew, Dismute, went that route, and
Yeah.
they both making good money. But I just did okay. I see what you're saying. I just didn't think it's that many. So maybe I just hadn't been looking because to me it ain't been that many.
Yeah. I mean that's just a part of life, I guess. So,
Yeah,
you know.
but
But
the
but
disrespect is definitely out there today, though.
you know, for whatever reason, there's been this new war on black women. You know, uh, we've always heard uh, that they were headstrong, don't want to listen, don't want to submit, and those type of things. But then you look at the people that they have in their lives or that are making these statements. You know, are they worth submitting to? You know, so you have these guys that don't treat the women with the value that they should, or protect them, not only physical protection, but we're talking about emotional protection, protecting their mental state, uh, and all those things. So what do they have to submit to, and why should they submit to you? That's the question that some people have to ask themselves. Am I really worthy of being
Mm,
having someone that submits to me? Why does she talk back to me? Because she doesn't respect me, because
right,
I'm
right.
not doing the things that I'm supposed to do. So sometimes you have to look in the mirror, and then sometimes it is that person, the way that they were raised, the things that they have experienced, the emotional traumas that they've had in their lives. So there are a number of factors that you have to look at, um, when you're entering into a relationship or partnership or a marriage with someone. So
Yeah, it's a reason why she don't respect him. But me, I preach this a lot to the brothers, especially when I was mentoring. And I say this, it was a clip that I said earlier that rolled when we used to on our intro. People do what you allow them to do. A man gonna do what you allow him to do. A woman gonna do what you allow them to do. So if it's something that they're doing that you don't like, you need to address that at the door instead of allowing it to go on, because that's a lot of times where the disrespect set in at. If y'all hanging out and she able to curse or talk to you a certain way in front of company and you keep allowing that, she's going to get comfortable with that, and vice versa. That person is going to get comfortable with that, and that's not what you want. That person getting comfortable disrespecting you, but it's so much of that. And like I say, even when I look at Love and Hip Hop, and I still hadn't had a chance to reach out to Jock about this, but when I'm looking at the Love and Hip Hop, he tried to throw her a celebration party because of whatever she made $50,000 doing something, and he tried to throw her an event, and she's so happy and so in love. But then as soon as you turn around, she cursed him out again, you know. And I'm like, and then also you said something very important out here a long time ago when you first started coming on. No matter what he do, if she not happy, he can't make her happy. That's because you know I stated women have a lot of women have a temporary happiness, and they're just satisfied for that moment. If she's unhappy with herself, and I think that's what's going on, because he trying to be this lovey-dovey, I'm doing this for you, and she, oh boy, they was a beautiful couple there. But then the next episode, she cursed his ass out, acting a fool about the same stuff she was fussing about 2 years ago. You know, like, man, you know, that's crazy. But he allows that. And he's stuck with that now because she's used to that behavior. She's used to treating him like that.
yeah, and I mean, and it's hard to break that once you all get in that type of cycle. I'm not saying that it can't be broken, but it's hard to break that. Um, and there are times when you have to realize that, you know, maybe this isn't for me, or this is just our lives, and you deal with that. So, but I mean, that's not something that I want to grow accustomed to, you know. But some people like that drama.
Yeah,
You know, they say it keeps the relationship
yeah.
exciting.
They
Yeah, I
like
don't
them
want that type
toxic
of excitement.
relationships. We touched on that too, and we know somebody right now that no matter what he's in those toxic relationships. And being that he came from seeing that, seemed like that should have been something he ran from. I mean,
Well, I mean, but that maybe all he learned. So, you know, if that's what he experienced and that's what he learned and that's what he saw as a loving relationship, he
yeah, I
doesn't see
mean,
it. They don't see it as toxic. They see it as I'm expressing I'm expressing my love in this volatile way.
yeah. And that's
So
why I said I never was a firm believer in that make up the what is it, break up the makeup. Once I'm mad, I'm mad. I don't want you touching me. I'm sorry. We ain't, you know, give me a day or so to come back around. But I don't, you know, it depends on how in depth it got. But I don't believe in that F you, and then we effing each other 30 minutes later. Nah, you said some stuff, and now I got to see where your head was when you said that, you know.
yeah, I mean, but you know that's what gets some people off. And you know,
Yeah, I feel you. But what do you bring to the table? I don't feel like if you're talking monetary things, I feel like that shouldn't be a question. But if they're talking about what we don't have, what we need, the emotional support, like you had stated on a previous podcast, someone to listen to, the compassion, the love. Yeah, because both of us walking around there with our masculine energy going on. You know, that I just don't see that gelling too well. It's like two sides of the magnet. They gonna, you know, that's the same size. They're gonna pull apart, push apart. Um, that woman or that man needs to be more of what you're lacking. You know, so
I mean, and you know, even at 140K a year, trying to take care of family of three on that income, trying to live a specific lifestyle, depending on what type of lifestyle it is that you're trying to live, you know, it can still be difficult. Um, so, with your wife working or whatever, or even if it's the woman that's bringing home the 140K, then the additional amount helps. But it depends on what it is you're looking for in and out of life. Like, I mean, if you doing 140K, and it may be more, it may be better. It may be better for the wife to stay at home and watch the kids, or better for the husband to stay at home and watch the kids. Chilling, what's up with it? So, you know, it just depends on what works for you all when it
yeah,
comes
what
down
works for the
to
household? But
for
the
when
key
it comes down to
thing,
finances. So, but my point was, before I went
mm,
on down that little rabbit hole, is that if the value is, I mean, if the question is, what do you bring to the table, and we're talking monetary value, then that's just something that's needed in that particular relationship. So you have this woman that wants to live a certain lifestyle, and you want to live a certain lifestyle, and your lifestyles don't match up to what one person is bringing home, then yeah, both people are going to have to work to meet or match whatever lifestyle it is that you're trying to do.
and so with him asking what you bring to the table for monetary reasons, like you say, um, that's up to that individual. But I don't think I would. I never sat and I call dating, especially when you're doing it for a purpose, is like an interview. Um, Sitting out there looking at, wow, she bring this, she bring that. Now, of course, it's gonna cross your mind. Okay, where you work at? Oh, I work here. I do this, I do that, and then you kind of in your head instantly what she's probably making a year. But that's not a final. That's not a let's go do this thing to me. Uh, what she brings to the table. That don't, as for when it comes to financial. But like you say, if it's different lifestyles and she want to live this and that next. I've heard plenty of OGs that the ones that I say used to mess my head up. Plenty of them OGs would put in my head about if she want to go out and get this and that done, let her go out there and make her money to do that. You know what I'm saying? They told me I take care of the main bills, and if she want hair, nails, and all that done, let she go out and make that money herself to get that done. So I got schooled by them at 20 and 19, 20 years old. So yeah, like you say, if it's a certain lifestyle she want to live, then she need to go out there and and y'all decide who pays what and who does what. you know. But let's check this video out right quick. People.
A real man will leave you. They're not going to go back and forth with you. They're not going to argue with you. They're not going to beg with you. They're not going to plead with you. You will get a warning at best. And if it's no changed behavior, they're out.
And that's what I say with the jock situation and me being more traditional. I know my worth, and I know what I contribute to a relationship. I know how to contribute. And so I just don't feel like I need to sit there and take disrespect. I know how to leave, like she said. I know how to leave. So that's me. I know how to leave. I'm not gonna argue. You are who you are. I'm not gonna try to change nobody. Just show me who you are and let me decide if I want to stay. That's me.
Yeah, you know, and I don't know, probably some people would say, well, you don't have no fight in you and blah blah blah. You don't fight for the relationship. I don't believe in fighting in a relationship.
I'm saying
So I
fight for
believe,
what? To be miserable?
right. I believe in nurturing my relationship. I believe in and doing the things that I'm supposed to do in a relationship to ensure that the person that I'm with um, feels secure, feels protected, feels wanted, feels loved, and I fulfill the needs that she requires. But you know, if you want to sit up and act a fool and you want to leave, and I'm a firm believer in leaving a relationship. I'm a firm believer in divorce. You know, I don't have an issue with it because I feel that um, if it's necessary for my peace, my sanity, my emotional health, mental health, well-being, then it was just something that wasn't meant to be for us. And you know, some people may say that's an issue. And okay, that's cool. I
And some
understand that.
people may say it's that you running.
Yeah, some people may say however you want to put it. You
Right.
know, I try to make a relationship work, but if I see that it's not working, then what the freak I want to stay in it for?
Yeah. Especially now, time is too valuable and it waits for no one. So I agree with you on that as well.
Qualities a high value woman can find in a high value man.
Character, integrity, certainty, decisiveness, thoughtfulness, love, compassion, understanding, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, openness, honesty. I think high value, although now it is often confused with high earning, high value means a man of value. And value is more than money. There are some things money can't even buy because it's so valuable. You know, it's so rare. It's such a jewel. And I think that when you find those things, a woman naturally finds her femininity.
Do you feel like because the opinion of value is so subjective is the reason why people have issue in finding what they're looking for?
I think people have a problem finding what they're looking for because they don't know themselves. How do you choose something when you don't know the baseline, when you don't know the starting point? I think it's really easy to project how you feel and what you think about a word, but the reality of it is always changing, yes. And the goalpost is always moving, probably also true. However, how do you even know where you start to even get close to it if you don't know who you are?
Yeah, and I can see that. I mean, a lot of people don't know what they want, number one, because they don't know who they are and they don't know what they bring, you know. So sometimes when people ask the question, what do you bring to the table? Uh,
A lot
they're
of people
trying,
lost.
they're trying to identify what they can bring based on what you say, you know.
Yeah. One woman say she is the table.
Well, just because you get eaten off of, that don't mean you the table.
Yeah. So women, I feel, need to understand more of what men are saying when they ask that question. Because I don't think out of the men that ask that question, I don't think majority of them, especially if they're 35 plus, I'm gonna say 40 plus, they're not mostly speaking income. Now, 35 and under may be saying, okay, what you bring to the table. I'm an engineer. I make $150,000 a year. I came from nothing, a 2-bedroom shack with mom and dad, and with 5 of us in the household. I'm the best person in the family. I'm the only one who graduated college, and now I'm making damn the $200,000 a year, and I'm not just going to talk to anybody. And I know guys like that from that hometown that has that mentality. They feel like anybody, because they came from nothing and feel like they're something because they're straight financially. They kind of looking down on people, and they just not gonna pick any woman. Okay. And when I say any woman, I am not talking about the strippers or nothing like that. They're looking for her to at least make almost as much as them. And they go out, they womanize, they'll pick up the ones that make the 80,000 and the 30,000s, and they play with them and dog them out, because if she not making what he's making, or a little less or more, they don't respect them, or I hear their conversations when they get drunk and they're drinking, and I've been around these people. And man, I did this and that. I came from this. I'm doing this all night, this and that and that. And she ain't got this, and she ain't doing that. And I'm sitting there like, brother, and I'm looking at him sideways, because actually I bagged away from him when I heard him talking this. I don't even talk to him today. But you run into those people. And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but I just know a lot of people who came from less, when they feel like they have a little more, their attitude's a little weird. And so if they're saying, what do you bring to the table based on that, the narcissism and all that's coming out of that, and I've seen all of this, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just creating scenarios. I've been around people saying this and acting like this, They feel like she need to bring something to the table, monetary wise. And then I like this lady's reply.
And
go ahead. And all these people are talking about, you never really mingled with them. But if I were to show you their picture, you'll say, okay, yeah, I remember him. Yeah, I remember him. But they were nothing, as we would call them, dipshits. And came from, little or nothing. And now I think he is an engineer, and he's doing damn good. And, so he looks at people a certain way, especially people who had it back then growing up, walking around school in the latest kicks, the polos, and, the Nikes, the Adidas that were popular. He looks at them some type of way now because he feels like he has something. And he was dating a friend girl of mine, and she would tell me things about him. And I was like, wow, he wasn't like that. Wow, he wasn't like that. But as he got, grown and making his own money, and he turned like that. I'm talking about he wasn't nothing no girl ever looked at in school. But he said something to her, she got involved with him, and I was like, wow.
Well, I mean, it's like the police officers that become police officers because they got bullied in school. It's the same concept, because you were treated bad in school and you didn't have much. Now that you have something, now you feel like the tables have turned. So you end up treating people, like you were treated then, and not realizing, you're acting from a place of trauma and hurt. But so yeah.
So yeah, those guys that's seeking, what do you bring to the table for monetary reasons? I'm kind of, like you say, whatever fits your situation, but I'm not particularly into that, Now she said, now she broke this definition down. Keep her.
What are you bringing to this so-called table?
Me, for myself, I work a 9 to 5. I'm a single mother. I take care of my kid. I pay my own bills.
But that's everything that you do for yourself. What are you bringing to the table as far as a relationship?
You're an adult.
everything you listed is you just being a human adult. So I expect you to be independent, just like I'm independent, Ace is independent, Jew is independent. We do everything for ourselves. Like a lot of women's personality trait is that I'm strong, independent, and don't need no man. Of course, that's not showing me anything that you could offer a long-term successful relationship.
So if I rephrase the triggering statement of what are you bringing to the table in a more acceptable way, it would sound like this. So as a woman, what attributes do you possess that would improve our relationship and improve my life? What are you bringing to the table? And because a lot of women have been conditioned to believe that their worth and value is directly predicated on how much money she makes, how much she owns, what kind of degree she has, when you ask them this question, those are the type of responses that you get. And that's not what you bring to the table as a woman. Yeah, I own a business and I own a home, but those are not my greatest assets. The world is hard enough, so I have really worked hard to be a positive energy in the world. That is what I bring to a relationship. When you are out fighting the world, I want you to enjoy coming home. I want to be your peace and your comfort. I want to be the person that speaks life into you. The world is tearing you down, but I'm here to build you back up. Two heads are better than one. Teamwork makes the dream work. Those are things that I live by every day. So I understand that I need to be in a relationship for me to create the lifestyle that I want for my family. So understanding that we are better together than apart, that's what I bring to a relationship. Yeah, I cook and clean and I know how to make a house a home, but I do it out of love. So I'm able to feed my family love from the inside out when they eat my food. When you come home and you sense the energy that house has been taken care of with love, that's what I bring to the table. I want to be welcoming to you. That's what I bring to the table. You ain't gonna get that everywhere.
Yeah, and that's the thing that the majority of people are looking for when they ask, "What do you bring to the table?" You know.
Yeah,
But
and she broke it down. But what everything she said is so rare, just like the one that we had when you had put emphasis on the marriage vows, for better or for worse. She paused, for richer or for poor. We didn't discuss that. So it's like a lot of the women of today, which is what is titled modern day women, women of today, feel more privileged. And I feel because of what they've seen on social media. That's what I feel. And I think women respected men more and had more self-respect for themselves before social media. Of course, we had the scriptures. Of course, we had the walking women, but it wasn't as widespread. If you look at
no, I just don't think it was as heard of. Because
look at the teenagers now that you see when you riding down the road every day, when you leave out of your house, and especially, and you see them coming home at 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night. Look at what they have on compared to what the ones had on that we knew. You actually, now I know we can sit there and say, "Oh, this been going on. We just didn't see it. Social media didn't show it." But at the same note, we were at every party that popped, and they did not dress like that. Why? Because the parents didn't allow them to dress like that. So when you look at that, and so now with social media, the kids are seeing these teenagers, and I'm speaking from experience with the 14. They wear what they see. The younger generation are easily influenced. We didn't really care to walk around in public with no shirt on. We'll walk to the mailbox, but even when you used to go up to mom and them house, you will leave out the house with your shirt, but by the time you get by Miss Hill mailbox, you done threw your shirt on. Your shirt on. So it's like we had more, it was more respect because we seen a couple videos, you know what I'm saying, of people, but they really wasn't doing that. So yes, I feel social media and the access to data has corrupted or is playing a role in the women being disrespectful, how the clothing styles has changed. Lingerie is dinner attire now. Yeah, that many didn't wear that. And when we used to see that, it was a big thing. Roger Rabbit with the little cartoon girl walking around with the fishnets. That was a thing because it wasn't something we seen every day. Your girl go and get some goddamn lingerie for Valentine's Day. Hell, you was just at a restaurant before you came home and seeing the same thing. So you like, okay, that's nothing special anymore. So yes, the attire, the everything has changed than what it was.
Well, I mean, if you go back and look at history and time and how people used to dress, I mean, if you look at the 50s and 60s versus the 70s and the 80s, then you'll see how people start to shed layers of clothing and start to wear more provocative clothing. So, and again, I if you start looking at, so sometimes I watch Paternity Court, you know, and you have these older women that come in and their children are 20 and 30 and 40 years old and still didn't know who their dad was, or they're trying to get this guy tested, and you find out the mom had been sleeping with 4 or 5 different guys, and then they drug this man to court, and then it's find out, still 30 years later, still don't know who the daddy is of the child. So so it's been going on forever. It's just it now is just not as private as it used to be.
Right. We see more than that.
Yeah, it's just not as private. People don't care anymore.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't care. That's
yeah.
the key. They wear what they want. They and you don't supposed to say anything. So yeah. So but like I say, that falls back on what that person accepts. Just like the man that's being disrespectful, the man that talks loud, the man that call them out of their names. And they stay in that relationship. She allowed it. So when things go left, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. She allowed it. That'd be my when he go upside her head and the police is called and she's hospitalized. She's seen it coming. She's seen the red flag. She ignored them.
Well, she saw it coming.
Family told her, and now this is the result. So I can't 100% feel sorry for you, especially when I warn you. Like I got a partner right now, and he deals with people that I feel like he don't need to be around because he's not that type of person. And I know at any given time they could F over him real bad, and but he still choose to hang around him. So I told him, my goal is to tell you what I feel. Now you staying in this and you get caught up, I'm not gonna be sitting there. I'm not gonna rush nowhere to be in his corner while he's recovering out of the hospital, or if they take all his money, I'm not gonna send him a dime because I told him I don't feel like you need to be dealing with those type of people when that's not you. So once I say that, I'm done.
Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of times people can create the situation. No, let me rephrase that. People can stay in a situation that they should not stay in when they see things that should make them leave, run, or whatever, sprint away, then that's what they should do. But then when they get stopped upside the head a few times, and it's gonna happen more than one time, no matter if he's saying, babe, I'm so sorry I did that. I can't believe, I just lost my temper. I just love you so much, and that you made this happen because you made me love you like this, you
Right.
know. And then you sit up there and fall for that. You fall for the flowers. You fall for the candy that you only get when you get beat up. So you
Right.
know, you don't
Petty
get this.
candy.
Yeah, you don't get this all the time. You
Right.
know, so if you continue to stay in those type of situations, then yes, you are allowing that to happen to you. You are allowing that to happen to you. This person is doing this to you, but you're allowing it to happen. So if you choose to stay in a relationship like that, then you're saying, I accept the treatment that I am receiving. And that's why it's not going to stop. That's why it's going to continue, because you're telling that person, I accept you calling me out my name. I accept you embarrassing me in public. I accept you physically abusing me. I accept these things as a condition of our relationship and a display of your love.
But then she'll go off and mess with somebody who open a car door for her when she leaving work.
No, see, that's the thing. The women that get treated like that, with
Stay in there.
beatings, kickings, hittings, cursing out, they normally stay loyal to their to
To
the
their
person that
abuser.
to whoever they're in a relationship with, their abuser. But the women that get the doors open for them, the women that get the flowers and dinner dates just because, or the cars just because, now
They're less
they'll run
likely.
out of mess over that man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The man that's sitting up there working 12 hours a day, working hard, and then they start hollering about, well, you don't have time for me. You
Now
know,
that's what I say. That's the one that get messed over. You working too many hours. We had a guy when you on here, when Jeremiah was on here saying that all he wanted to do was work and try to provide for him and the girl, but the girl was telling him that she wanted more time.
yeah, I think I was. I can't remember that, but that
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
yeah.
So
He was like, man, I figured we get this money, and then when the money is what we needed, we able to vacation, hang out, get everything. And his girl was messing around with somebody else. And then he asked why, and she was like, "You never did give me no time." And he was like, "Well, I'm out here busting my ass, trying to keep
yeah,
the roof over their head and put us in a better lifestyle. And you out about time, and you went and slipped off." And then, like I said, on either the not last week or week before that, I was like, I had to learn that too, because my thing is, I'd rather make money than spend it. But when you're in a deep relationship or married, uh, you have to make time. And Martin did that stand up, one of his first ones that actually blew up, when he was saying he was at the club, trying to catch his girl at the club. He was in his pajamas. And then when he asked her why did she mess over him, she was like, somebody else got your time. He didn't never have time for it. He was working, working, working. So it's a little truth in all those jokes. And when you do decide to take on a family or be in a serious relationship, dating with a purpose, you're gonna get those moments where you have to spend time. Because Austin, I'm sure you got caught up on this too. I could work and make this amount, but I hadn't spent any time with her in the last month and a half, so I just miss out on that money and hang out with baby today.
right. I
I'll
could
make
have,
it up some other time.
yeah, I could have accepted a job where I had to travel all the time and make really, really, really good money.
Hmm.
But you know, I'm the type of person, I like time. I like to be with the person I'm with, and I like all those little touching and holding, and I like those things. And so since I value those things, I have to find someone that values those things too. Because if they don't value those things, then our relationship is not going to work. Because then you start, and even for a woman that likes those things, a person may start saying, okay, you're smothering me. I can't do this. I can't do that. You want too much time. I mean, what is wanting too much time? So you have to find somebody that's on that same level with you on things that you want and things that you need. So, and if that person's not willing to give it to you, but you still try to make it work, you ask for whatever you get.
Yeah, that was funny when you said you give just too much time. Oh, boy.
Oh.
But so yeah, you have to make that time. I understand the money. I understand it because I was like that. But when Jeremiah was like, I'm trying to get it, and she up there messing sleeping around with everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
you
buddy,
trying
you
to
gotta
get
make
it, and
that time, bro. And
you trying to get it, she out there getting it.
yeah, and if that's the purpose, like you said, you have to pick the person that's in that. And like you say, and they say so much, those are things that should have been discussed before the relationship even halfway got off the ground.
Why do women get upset with the question, what do you bring to the table?
If you're not hiring me for a job, why am I answering to you what I bring to the table?
When
Either
you
you're going to take your time to get to know me and figure out what it is that I bring.
Should we waste our time getting to know you if you bring no value?
Why is that a waste of time? Are you hiring? Like,
no, men are the one that's risking themselves in a relationship more than a woman is.
How?
Because we're the one that's spending our time, money, and resources and protecting y'all.
Women have money, women have time.
Y'all
they
wanna
have to
spend
get
your
the
money.
same thing that you have to spend. It's the audacity of asking the question that's a problem.
But what else besides attraction do you bring to the table? Women love policing men's standards, right? I.e., I want you to have kids. I want you to be in shape. I want you to be feminine. Y'all start going crazy, going ham. As soon as we ask the question, yo, what do you bring to the table, right? Then becomes an issue. Like, y'all gotta ask us 1,000,001 questions and we gotta answer it. We gotta prove to y'all that we providers, that we masculine, that we assertive, that we can be leaders.
Yeah, we got 6 figures.
Exactly. And we can't even ask y'all one simple question without y'all getting offended. If you can't answer that, then that's a red flag and I'm gonna move on to the next.
Well,
he had some valid points, and she went off because I think she saw monetary. You think financial?
Yeah.
And the way she was dressed, she probably did make a lot. Maybe, I don't know.
I can't say that, but
yeah, we can't 100% say that, but we can go off of her attitude when it came to that question. She kind of got that threw her all the way out, the attitude. Or she one of those who, the way she was talking to him, you could tell in her relationship that she's probably very disrespectful in the last one or two that she was in.
No, I wouldn't say disrespectful, but I believe she may be
very outspoken.
She's very defensive.
Very defensive.
She's probably defensive. So, who knows where that comes from.
She was ready, boy. Why you gotta ask that? Is this a job? Is this an interview? And basically it is. Dating is an interview on both sides.
Yeah, it is. And and a woman has the right to ask a man, what do you bring to the table? So again, your values have to match up for you to have a successful relationship, marriage, whatever it is that you're going towards.
And back in the day, that was a general conversation. It wasn't nothing to be defensive about. As soon as you sit down and you guys are talking, that's small talk. So what do you do? That was a given. You already knew when you went out on this date and you sit down with this woman or you sat down with this man, that question was going to come up. What do you do? So what do you do? And then you sitting there like, that question is coming. So if you're not doing shit, you have your good lie together on what you what you gonna tell her you was doing, or you wishing you was doing, or what you trying to do. But you knew that question was coming up. It was nothing for no party to get upset about. She actually got upset. What is this, an interview? Yes. If you're dating with a purpose, it's an interview. And a lot of times, first impressions mean everything. I'm a firm believer in that. First impression.
Yep.
If I'm looking for, if I'm recruiting a DJ to DJ with me, and I go and check out his set for the first time, and he messes up, play songs that I don't feel like should have been played at the moment, that first impression, and I'm not impressed, he's probably the 10.5 times out of 11 not going to get the job with me. So first impressions is everything. So yeah, we were conditioned and prepared for those questions because we knew they were going to come up, especially if you were dating, especially when we were in college, or if you, like you said, you see them come down from that corporate building while you're in line, or while you're going to pick up somebody, and you see them come down, you pretty much know what that conversation is going to be if you two were to go out, So why get offended?
Yeah, I agree.
And peep him.
This is the reason why it's weak to ask a woman what she brings to the table. It's because a truly masculine man doesn't desire for his woman to bring to the table what it's his responsibility to bring. Of course, he wants to know the value she has in terms of feminine traits and nurturing qualities. But that's different, because that's not what she brings externally. That's a part of her being. So technically, she doesn't actually have to bring anything externally to satisfy his masculine needs. So it's usually the men that don't want to fully occupy the masculine position that have the mindset to ask these questions.
And that goes back to what I said. If you ask him for monetary reasons or financial, I'm shaky on that to a degree. I'm shaky on that. Kind of what he was saying, because we were raised to be, the providers. Anything they bring, oh yeah, it's gonna get spread amongst everything dealing with the household. But I'm not just gonna sit there and say, hey, you need to make 80 grand so we can do this, and if you can't do that, we can't be together. You know what I'm saying? No, but it's there are actually now, because like I stated earlier, men know their worth. That's sitting back like, if she don't make this, we can't be together. I'm at the table with these people. I'm at the table with these people.
And then again, some could be saying that because they feel like they're going to be used for their money. So people that have been in positions where they've been used before, or they feel they're lacking something, whether it's their physical traits or whatever it may be, that someone may want to get with them for their money or use them for their money. So
yeah, like you said, that had been used before. That makes sense.
So it just
depends. I didn't see it like that, but when I'm in these little business meetings and we're talking about doing a show or something like that, we're promoting something, and I hear that guy going off, if she don't make $80,000, I can't talk to her. We can mess around, but I can't talk to her. And I was like, and then, she got to be able to at least give me half on this car, give me half on this and that. And so I think the talks like that is what got the 50-50 thing. But coming from tradition, yet understanding the conditions of the world, I agree with what Tiffany Brown Dawson said. It should be 100-100. I believe in 100-100. If you got it, you pay it. I got it, I pay it. You don't just sit there and let the lights get cut off because you wait on me to pay. If you got the money, go ahead and pay it. You know what I'm saying? That's that 100-100. It ain't no, And if you got it, take care of it. So and that's cool. Even though I have certain bills that I feel like I want to be assigned to, but then I may look up and get ready to pay the bill, and she didn't already pay it. She forgot to tell me. So I'm like, that's that 100. Because I might say, like she'll see I done got this, that, and then I'm doing this and that, and I'm doing extra. So she'll just jump up and pay something that she know I'm supposed to pay. And so I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I got to spend $400 on this. And then when I go in there to do it, because I do my stuff early in the morning, 7 o'clock. So I look on there. She pays stuff before she go to bed. I pay stuff first thing in the morning. So like I said, we yin and yang. It's two different things. So she'll jump up and pay it. So my mind be like, damn, in the morning I got to pay such and such. So that I believe in the 100. The 50-50, the light bill, $600, you give me $3. I already paid my $3. You know what I'm saying? And I don't knock, like you say, it's whatever works in your household. I don't knock the 50-50. I don't knock that 50-50. But I kind of like the 100. If I got it, I'm going to pay it. Zoom, get it on out the way. Don't just sit here and wait. I've seen and heard couples fuss about, I paid my half of the insurance bill, their automobile insurance. So her car is on there and her payment's probably $305. His car on there and his payment for his insurance is probably $400. And so I paid my half, but then the policy ended up canceling. And they arguing and fussing because she paying her half, she paying it. Now she want her own insurance because together it's the 50-50. I just don't feel like that's a good, it depends how organized you are. I understand that shit, but I just don't think it'll work for me. And I think that's going to be one of our next topics, if anything, the 50-50. I want to, we put it up on the wall before, but we didn't dive into the 50-50 because like you say, the world is different now. You have stay-at-home dads and you have that woman making $140K, that man making $60,000 a year. Should that be 50-50? Should that be 60-40? Should that, you know what I'm saying? Should that be 30-70?
No.
And does that make him less of a man coming from a tradition? So that's going to be a topic that we dive into. So that's more than likely going to be our next topic. So remind me when I'm texting you, hey, what's a good topic? Like, hey, let's go and get that out the way because I'm going to forget. I have to go back and watch this, and then I'll be like, man, I was supposed to talk about that next week. But yeah, that coming from tradition and then going with what you bring to the table, and then you shedding some good light. If he coming from a background where he was used and abused, and he say, well, you ain't dating no what they call now brokies, I can see that. I can see that attitude from that standpoint. Because I'm talking about this brother stood up at the meeting. If she ain't making, and because you had other guys sitting there that's well established, and we sitting there like, a woman don't have to bring shit to the table. They just want loyalty, trust, honesty, integrity, all that. And he was like, man, I ain't thinking about none of that. If she don't make, it's like, so, but like, we all understand to each his or her own, but keep him.
What does she bring to the table? Every man asks that question. Well, what does she bring to me, bro? Well, I'll tell you what a good woman can bring to the table. It's the same things that I saw my mom bring to my dad's table. And the first thing is family. That right there should be enough. I shouldn't even have to keep going. She turned your house into a home. Or else it would just be a bachelor pad, right? She can give you kids. Your own kids, she gives you. Oh, and she loves those kids unconditionally. Imagine that. She loves your kids unconditionally. That's amazing. She also brings balance and clarity. This one I can't really put into words, but I've seen it firsthand, what she did to my dad. She changed his life for the better. She gave him a focus point. I don't know how to explain it. And, knows how to calm you down when you most need it. When you're stressed out, it can also stress you out when you're calm, but that comes with the territory of living under the same roof with another person. That's normal. Nothing's perfect. But those things right there are enough for you to understand her value. Anything more than that is cherries on the cake.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like arguing against that point because, yeah, I mean, yeah, you create a family when you get together with a woman, and that's the way it's designed.
Yeah. And she loved your kids unconditionally.
Yeah, some people be like, I hate these kids.
No, for real. You joking, but I actually
and I'm not
know a woman who was like, she loved the kids, yeah, but she more like Monique now, man, F them kids. And I was like, how did she say that? You know? But that was from having a child at a young age and wasn't able to enjoy life. Now, when we understand that that's that sacrifice, you feel me? We understand that, but some people have a hard time understanding that. And when I heard that, I paused for a second. But I learned to stay out of people's things. I learned to just sit back and watch, observe. I don't comment on everything that I see that's disturbing or hear that's disturbing to me anymore. I just sit back now. But when I heard her say that, the old me would have said, "Oh, so you just had the child, and now the child pretty much You should have thought about that before you did that." And different things like that, and to get in a little argument, but at least I got my point across. But I just sat back, man, and since I've been picking battles, I stay out of a whole lot of stuff. I just sit back and then I'll address it on here, But she actually was like, she ain't really messed up about her kids. She wants to turn up. She wants to have fun. Damn them kids. I was like, whoa. Even though you may think that, but for you to say that in front of people that you don't really know like that, so you have to really, like, you don't regret taking the back seat, raising none of your kids or being there for none of them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't I'm missing out type deal. You was like, shit, I got more responsibilities. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna get at y'all later. And you wasn't messed up about it. Tell me about it. We come on, tell you about it, whatever. But I never once heard you say, man, if I didn't have these kids.
Nope.
If anything, you go out your way and kiss a little bit more ass than what you wanted to, trying to make sure you were being, a respectful and active father. You know what I'm saying? So I always saluted you on that.
Yep, and even in your vein of being a young dad and having kids early and that type of thing, but we had that understanding. We were cut from a different cloth, so we made the bed, we laid in it, and we took on those responsibilities that we needed to take on. Even now with having a 1-year-old baby girl.
Yeah, and you don't have no regrets saying that I can't go to the jazz club tonight, or I can't go to this concert.
I can't jump up and I just can't jump up. Well, I used to jump up and jet set, just go wherever I wanted to go.
Yeah, pop up
But
at the
now,
door like, hey, you didn't tell me you was coming down. Can't do that no more.
nope, got to
And
plan.
if you do something like that, you got to get a babysitter in place.
Yep.
So
It's just different things now. I love my baby girl, love my little 1-year-old. So, and
that's all that matters.
That's it. Unconditional.
I feel like number one, it's a super toxic question to ask in the first place when a man is saying, what do you bring to the table? I really, in my heart of hearts, feel like a lot of women can't even articulate it, because although there are tangible things that we bring to the table, there's a lot of intangible things that a divine feminine woman brings to the table. There's something about an energy. When you get around a certain type of woman, that woman's energy makes you want to be more, do more, have more, just in the very essence of having her around. And mostly because that woman understands how to operate around that man. What I mean by that is, there's a lot of women, especially in today's society, that are trying to tell their men, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Stop telling that man what to do and start planting seeds so he can feel good when he's doing it, when he's doing the leadership, when he's winning and doing all those things, and you celebrate him like it was his idea. And some people may call it manipulative, and in a sense, it is. However, it's for the greater good of the colony. And I think that when a woman is in her divine feminine and understands how a man operates, and a man can be by the way, I do have to say this, feminine does not mean female and masculine does not mean male. They are not genders, they are energies, and we all have both. But I'm talking about there's a divine masculine and there's a divine feminine. And when you can really, move and shake in that yin and yang, it is magical.
Yeah, I don't need that type of motivation. I'm already motivated to move and shake and do what I need to do. So I don't need someone to build me or to make me feel like I'm on top of the world, because I already feel that way. But
Yeah, I felt what she was coming from the aspect of we had a topic, I want to say last week. I'm not whether it's when we were saying it was about money. What were we saying about money and love, or love don't pay bills? Okay. And I made the statement that once a man fall in love, that could motivate him to do that. And I'm speaking from college or early dating, not seasoned vets that then been there and bumped their heads. Sometimes it takes that right woman to wake up that good man. Just like the guy I often refer to that we know that be going through these toxic relationships and trying to stay in them, and they got in one, I think, married and all that stuff. But that sometimes that woman that man meet. Now, we didn't need motivation. It was born and instilled in us, and plus we seen it growing up. So when we jumped off the porch, we knew where we were going. But you can have a guy in those toxic relationships, esteem beat down, but then he meets this woman, like she was saying, who can motivate him, and that love don't pay bills. If he loves that woman, that'll motivate him to get out there and make sure that he's providing to get on the level that we're on. He wants to provide. He wants to get up and go to work. He's not quitting jobs and jumping job to job. He's trying to keep a job now because he found that motivation to stay in there. And I learned from this podcast and the previous co-host that everybody don't just think like me or like us. Some people have to go through what they go through. They mourn. They miss the woman that they caught sleeping with their cousin. They miss her. We don't. It's on to the next. It happened. We seen it coming. We had a dream about it. We blocked it out. We knew something was going to happen. But everybody don't think like that. So when she said the motivation part, I thought about the statement I made that love don't pay bills, but love can make a man motivated, or vice versa, a woman motivated to pay that bill, because they don't want to lose what they have. So I see where she was coming from. And these days, especially with the therapy, and we've had a couple of therapists on here. Shout out to Chanel and George at training. So listening to them, I'm understanding more of that man that's that weaker vessel that we weren't used to seeing. We didn't run into many men that was weak vessels when we were growing up. We just didn't. We didn't see that. So I kind of see where she was coming from on that. Not that it fits my situation or yours, but I get what she was
Who's a high value man? A high value man for me is a man that has not just high earning income, but high values, and he lives by them. Honestly, the financial part is not the most important. It is a man that's saying, oh, my values is living by taking care and providing, protecting my family. And I'll do it by any means necessary, and making sure that they're aligned with the Most High God, you know, making sure that they have their own spiritual regimen. Like, if he has money, but he doesn't have values, then it's not gonna work. Because sometimes men, they need something to be led by. If they get to the point where they think they're just so here and no one can tell them nothing because they're they're the biggest man in the room due to the finance, they get lost. They get led. Don't lead me with your ego. Lead me with your spiritual intuition, your connection with God. I'll follow that. I'm not going to be led by your ego, by your childhood trauma, none of that. I need to be led by something higher than you, because you're connected by something higher than you.
So
And I feel like
that's a good topic that we need to get into.
Religion.
A God-fearing men still want it.
That's what I'm saying. And I was about to say that too about the men. It's not too many man of God. That was a lovely term 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Majority of the, not too many people doing the church thing now. So the newer generation, that's not really what they're talking about. And when I heard her say that, she got to be at least 35, because that's when it faded out. Right now, you ain't got to be God-fearing. You just got to have some money and and make some pretty decent decisions. Yeah. But I feel what you're saying. That will be something that we'll touch upon on a broad topic, and then we'll narrow that down. And look, I told you I'm gonna forget. I didn't even forget what we said we were gonna talk about next week.
50,
but what you said?
Oh, 50.
Okay, and we could probably talk about the God-fearing man. But I don't think as many women that actually looking for a God-fearing man. It's a few of them out there, but it's more, especially when you get past the millennials. It's more, it is what it is type. Just treat me right. You know what I'm saying?
But
I don't think that God fearing is a big thing right now. But it's something to touch on, because I want to know: are there still women, like you say? Do people still look for God fearing men? Women barely want men to lead anyway these days. So that's gonna be an interesting one. So yeah, we gonna tackle it. We're gonna tackle it. And you know how we getting ready to land it, but people,
the men here don't even really initiate. Y'all be letting the women come to y'all because y'all know it's so many of us. That's also why you guys feel like you're the prize, because there's so many of us. Y'all just feel like y'all don't have to do anything. Like, you're too cocky. Like,
let me ask you this. What makes a prize a prize? A prize is defined by its value. What makes something valuable? Its rarity. Since there's less men, we're technically more rare, which by definition makes us the prize. A prize is based on value, and value is determined by its rarity.
Technically, yes, but I don't feel like that's the perspective.
Now the other one saying technically yes, and all that, she should just have stayed on the back. And she probably Googled the technically part. But anyway, he's one of the ones too that I feel like is one of the ones who feel privileged. He know his worth, and you can just tell by his demeanor, But what he said though has a lot. That's why I said a lot of men today actually feel like they're the prize, because they're the breadwinners now. The women are working more and making the money. A lot of them are paid more. But when that man has what he's comfortable in, his skin, the car he wants to drive, the house that he wants to live in, the job that he's comfortable with, that he's making with bread that he gets up proudly to go to make this check. He feels like the prize. And I understand that. I don't have to settle. And a lot of men in relationships settle. Women have started to settle. So when I hear him talk like that, I understand where he's coming from. You shouldn't have to settle, men nor women. Just like you say, and I do. We go after what we feel matches us. The personality matches the lifestyle. We joke a lot. Even though our women, we get on their nerves, but we always joke and they be in a serious situation, serious mindset, and we make a joke out of it. But that's the beauty of it, because if we both was clowning, hell, I'm gonna get mad. You know what I'm saying? Let me be the clown. I'm the clown. Now you the serious one. So let's yin and yang this thing. So yeah, I'm a firm believer in that woman being in her feminine, letting that man be in his masculine. Their energies. So hearing him say that the man is the prize, these days, because women are so plentiful, and I say so many times on this podcast, there's a pretty bitch on every corner. So back in the day, beauty used to be rare. What's becoming rare now is a woman who respects you, a woman who's going to be there for you through thick and thin, a woman who has your back. Those are rare qualities in a lot of women now, because of social media make them feel like they have so many options. The guy is in the DM.
So that's my thing. I don't consider myself the prize. I consider what I find as a prize and a treasure, because it is rare to find such a woman of high quality and high value. So to her, who's seeking a man that possesses the qualities that she sees or wants in me, yes, she can see me as the prize. And I would in turn see her as the prize. So,
you both are the perfect gift.
That was nice. You said that very
Yeah,
well.
that's how I think. But yeah, but you do understand where he's coming from too.
I understand.
But like I say, when we're on different levels, because the only reason we're able to sit and host podcasts like this is because we've actually dated and been there in all these different type of relationships and scenarios, where we've come to a level where we're able to say, let's see, can we erase some of these mistakes that the other brother's going into making? See, can we twist their mindset? Like when that guy was on here last week trying to go off about marriage not being a partnership and a woman's not being equal. Where was he from? And he was like, had to be millennial, and he's talking like he came from the 50s. I was like, where did he come in? And but that's, believe it or not, that's how a lot of them think now, because of what type of women that they see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's in their everyday, who they go to school with, who they work with, who they see at the club, their sisters, their aunts, however they're dressing and cheating on and slutting with now. They're seeing this, and they a lot of them, as far as they've been hurt, they are devaluing women because of the pain that they've endured by dealing with them. So that's where that attitude comes from. But on that note, Austin, let's get ready to land this. I just wanted to come on here because consistency is what you need to succeed. And what are your final thoughts on tonight's topic? Are men wrong for asking a woman what does she bring to the table?
Well, men are not wrong for asking that, and women are not wrong for not for asking the question, what do you bring to the table? And they're not wrong for not answering, saying, okay, well, you look at me, you talk to me, get to know me, and then you figure out what I bring to the table. If I possess those things that you need to make that you need to see for us to be successful and where you want us to go, because you're supposed to be the lead. So you tell me, what do I bring to the table? You tell me, do I fit the values and have those things that you desire in a woman? So I'm just gonna be a blank table, and you let me know.
And that, if you meet one that says something like that, that's a pretty decent one. But I don't think many of them are gonna be thinking that deep. Because when they hear that question, they're gonna jump like majority of the women did that we seen tonight. That question caught them off guard. Because bring it to the table. And then when I am the table, and I'm this, I'm that. So me on that. No, you're not wrong for asking that. And like you say, on both sides, they're not wrong. Because like I said, we used to get asked, so what do you do? That'd be the first thing once you get along. Well, I'm in between jobs. I set out this semester. Those were things that you didn't want to say. You know what I'm saying? Especially depending on who you're talking to. So you had to have something going on for yourself. These days, I don't think it matters as much to the woman as long as you able to provide and lead. But that man, being that he's going through so much and he feels like he's going to have to be the provider, that's why men have started asking that. Because if anything happens, he knows everything's on his back. So, no, you're not wrong for asking that question. Ask that question 3 and 4 times over, but date what fits your personality, what fits your means. Don't try to force anything. That's what I say about that. Whether if they don't bring to the table what you're looking for to eat, then don't set the dish on the table. Don't accept the dish. That's how I feel on that. And on that note, we about to shut this down. Speak on It podcast 2K4 summer edition, doing what it do. We're gonna be back on here next week. And with that being said, I'm the host, DJ Black, along with my co-host, Austin, doing our thing. Shout out to the sister, Chanel. She had something to do. She popped in right before I could introduce her. She had to bow out. George will definitely be here next week if everything stays the same. He had internet issues. But this is what we do. People see the topics and they say, y'all finna beat people down. That's the problem. We don't beat them down on here, baby. We talk the situation and try to put some sense to it. We try to make it make sense. Y'all bashing women, we don't do that. We just bash men, women, whoever's in the wrong, we talk about it, then we enlighten you. So we're going to say where you went wrong at and let's try it this way. That's what we do on the Speak on It podcast. But on that note, Austin, what we say, it's happening, so
we might as well speak on it.
On that note, we out. We got shows to watch. We watching the Benz of that Shy. We got something else tonight we got to go watch. What on tonight?
I don't know what.
Well, okay, we doing the family business too. We doing family business.
Hey, yeah, I need to check out Reasonable Doubts.
Dang, I got to watch that. And I told her that. I kept saying, hey, we got to do this Reasonable Doubt. So, we binge watching, and we're going to be doing that all through this little Labor Day thing. So, but like I said, it's happening. So we might as well speak on it. On that note, we out. And what we always say, hey.
What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. But I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we were even thought. Why doesn't my father is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. But if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father.
Men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, I mean, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, the men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband.